show keeps the drama in place. Let's go, where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show is out of control.
What is going on, everyone? This is the EVP from the EVP show. It is finally Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed WWE's Friday Night Smackdown. I am back tonight to cover WWE Smackdown. Got the new logo in the back. Loving it. So yeah, we're gonna get into WWE Smackdown. It is becoming a little bit painful to watch, to be honest with you. Tonight, kind of NXT and SmackDown being 2 hours, everybody was complaining on social media, and a lot of the content creators were complaining about, SmackDown being 3 hours, but now, like, we're pushed into, SmackDown being 2 hours, and everything's having to be crammed into 2 hours. A lot of talent's getting left off the show, or if they are on the show, then it's basically just like something backstage, like maybe a minute or two, something like that. But I don't know. You can't take your eyes off, like, at all, or you'll miss something. SmackDown and NXT are both very fast paced, and yeah, I mean, a lot of the big stars obviously was not there tonight. Cody Rhodes was not there. No John Cena. So there were a lot of people that were missing tonight, and that's kind of bad. Especially being only 2 weeks away from the Clash of Paris PLE coming up, and it leaves a lot of question marks on what matches we're gonna actually have there. I had a lot that was actually like locked in to actually happen at Clash in Paris, but we're gonna talk about that when the time comes. But yeah, so SmackDown was live tonight on USA or Netflix for some, from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. It's the 19th time that they have hosted WWE SmackDown, which is crazy. Stone Cold actually won a world championship there at the TD Garden as well. It's an interesting fact about that. Obviously, tonight our ring announcer was Mark Nash, as always. Well, not always, but Mark Nash does a phenomenal job as being the announcer on SmackDown. Our commentators for tonight was Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. I think they fit pretty well together. They mesh well together. So yeah, that's basically like the startup of SmackDown. So basically, when SmackDown opens up, we see Drew McIntyre walking through the back. They start kind of showing like some stuff that happened, or they start talking about some of the stuff that happened last week with what they call crime scene, or what Drew calls the crime scene, for what he did to Cody Rhodes last week on SmackDown, which I will get to later on and get my thoughts on. This match doesn't look like it's going to happen at Clash of Paris. This looks like, I don't know, they could be putting this off for that September PLE. I know that's what they're doing with Cena and Brock. There's a big AEW PLE that weekend as well. So it looks like, I don't know, it's hard to say because, Cody Cody's going to be leaving on the 2nd of September to go film Street Fighter. So I'm not 100% sure on how that's going to work. I mean, it doesn't look too good for that matchup at Clash of Paris. I mean, they're going to be in Ireland next week for SmackDown. So I don't know. I mean, Drew kind of told, obviously we'll get to that, but he kind of issued the challenge tonight, said what he wanted, but Joe Tessitore said there was no medical update on Cody. So did last week write him off, or is he going to show up next week and they're going to do like a 2-week build for this title match at Clash of Paris? I don't really think so. It's a pretty big match. We'll see. I had that locked in as one of the Clash of Paris matches, so I'm definitely highly surprised about that for sure. But welcome everybody to the show again. We are live on my Facebook. Obviously, we're live on the EVP show, my YouTube channel, and we are live on my X. So welcome to all the viewers that's watching. So basically, after we see that, we see Solo is going to kick the show off. It shows like highlights of like Sammy beating Solo, and then obviously we saw on Raw Solo Sikoa and the rest of the MFT get their revenge on Sami Zayn, ultimately costing him a match. It ended in DQ, but in Sammy's eyes, that was like the match that could have catapulted him into that fatal 4-way that's going to happen at Clash of Paris for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sammy's kind of been fixated on that World Heavyweight Championship for quite a while now, so it's good to see like they're shifting away from that for a little while, and putting Sammy back with like Jimmy and Jacob and getting him into the mid-card title picture, like the U.S. title. That's where it looks like it's going. We're definitely headed for a Sammy Solo U.S. title match. Now, whether Sammy wins it, I don't know. I think he may, because now he's got backup with Jimmy and Jacob over there. So basically, Solo kicks it off. It comes out with JC Mateo. Tonga Loa, and the MFT, all of them. So he's basically talking about Sammy. He's talking about how he stomped him out on Raw. Obviously, he tried to do the Roman thing, saying Boston, which he can't do. But in the background, if you listen really closely, we heard a lot of we want cross chants. So that carrying cross front is on the move. It's been on the move. I don't think it's going to die down anytime soon. I still don't believe that he's actually not signed. I think this is just WWE's way of trying to swerve because they just love to do that. Triple H is obsessed with it. But yeah, there was a lot of we want cross chants tonight, which is good to see. But Solo was talking about stomping Sammy out on Raw, talking about stomping Jimmy Uso out, and talking about stomping Jacob Fatu out. At that point, he says, "Is there anyone in the back that wants to step up?" And before he could get that out of his mouth, we hear Sami Zayn's music. Sammy comes out. He told Solo Sikoa that he felt like he's been fixated on this world title for too long. And he also thanked Solo Sikoa, which was crazy. But I understand where he's coming from because he's basically telling Solo thank you because now he pinned Solo, last week, and now he can shift his focus away from the world championship scene and focus over to the United States title because he did beat Solo last week. And after he beat Solo, on my recap show last week, I said I think we're headed for a Sammy's solo US title match. So it's looking more apparent that that's where we're going. So Sammy comes out, tells Solo, "Thank you." He said that he can focus on other things. He said the world title kind of had him like had his whole world like completely. He was completely evolved around that. So yeah, Sammy then tells Solo Sikoa that he is coming for his United States title, which I think we all kind of knew that. So the MFT come in and attacked Sami Zayn. All four members of the MFT attacked Sami Zayn. Out comes Jimmy Uso, but the numbers are still too much. Jacob Fatu also joins the fray by assisting Jimmy, Big Jim, and Sammy. And it two super kicks to Tala Tonga from Sami Zayn and Big Jim, and then another one from Jacob Fatu. And then it's like they have to basically do a triple clothesline on Talatonga to get him over the top rope. Like Hikaleo, Talatonga, whatever you guys want to call him, he's a beast. So Nick Aldis comes out, at the end of that little segment and says that we are going to have a 6-man tag match tonight in the main event. And it is going to be any 3 members of MFT going up against Sami Zayn, Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, and the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu. So definitely a good main event there. Was definitely looking forward to that. So after that segment, we see Byron Saxton in the back with Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest, Piper Niven, and Alba Fire. Chelsea Green, Byron's asking Chelsea how she felt about last week, and she said, "What do you think? How do you think I felt, dummy?" Basically, she said that she was there to end a celebration that shouldn't have been happening, and that she ended up eating some fun fatty cake to her face. She said that could have caused a lot of damage and a lot of things happening to her. Chelsea, but she's so great for TV. Chelsea's amazing. Piper then says that no one messes with their Canadian hero. And Alba also chimes in and says to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to watch their back, that they are coming for those women's tag titles, which I kind of predicted after last week that would probably be Charlotte and Alexa's next title defense would be against probably Alba Fire and Piper Niven. I mean, Chelsea could get involved, but I think she'll be on the outside for that. So next up, we have Alexa Bliss in a match. We have Alexa Bliss accompanied by Charlotte Flair. Being a big Charlotte fan, I can say that I haven't seen her like this in a long while. Like she's like interacting with the fans. She's getting cheered. She looks great. Her and Alexa just meshed really well together. Like they did like a TikTok video before the show. Charlotte actually put her hair in braids or something like that, which was funny. But this "we're not friends" thing it's hilarious. I think it's good TV. Obviously, Alexa's going up against Piper Niven, who is accompanied by the rest of Secret Harvest, which is Alba Fire and Chelsea Green. They do a camera shot, obviously, when Chelsea and the rest of Secret Harvest get out there, and you see Wade Barrett actually standing to a tent, like he's actually doing this to Chelsea and them, and Joe's like, "Would you cut it out, Wade?" And just back and forth. So that was pretty entertaining. For the majority of this match, Piper Niven dominated. Obviously, it was a little it was a size difference in this matchup. At the beginning of the matchup, to Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Alexa had put the Lily doll that Charlotte gave her last week in her corner, like in one of the corners, and Chelsea and Alba Fire went over there in that corner and actually tried to take that Lily doll, but Charlotte player walked over there and was like, that's not happening. Not going to happen. So Piper is basically bullying Alexa the whole match. She hits a boss man slam on Alexa. Um, it's basically a pure domination for the most part for Piper Niven. She takes her jacket off during the match, starts waving around. She's dancing, she's taunting, she's bullying, she's kind of flaunting around. Just way, 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 way too cocky. She took that jacket off and she actually threw it at Charlotte Flair, which was just crazy. Like I said, she's dancing and skipping around. Um, yeah, it was wild. She went for the running cannonball in the corner. Alexa got out of the way. Then Alexa Bliss took control. She hit Then Piper did actually hit the cannonball, but Bliss moved, hit the and then actually hit the DDT on Piper Niven going up. Chelsea came up on the rope. Charlotte pulled her down because she was trying to interfere. Alba Fire came up at that point. Alexa Bliss knocked her off the rope and rolled up Piper Niven for the 1-2-3. Alexa Bliss scores the pinfall victory over Piper Niven, but that wasn't it. After the match, we see Alba attack Charlotte. Alba, Piper, and Chelsea come in to attack Alexa. Charlotte comes in, starts chopping all three of them, but ultimately they get the best of Charlotte. She ends up getting thrown to she ends up getting thrown outside the ring over the barricade, and then Bliss is just completely outnumbered at that point. Piper Niven ends up hitting Alexa Bliss with a splash off the top rope, and the Secret Harvest end up standing tall, which I don't think we're going to see that match at the PLE. I think that's probably a SmackDown match, but with Charlotte and Alexa, I don't know. I think, well, next week is not the go home, so I don't know. We'll see. Still time. I still think that could possibly be maybe a SmackDown title match. Maybe the go home SmackDown before Clash in Paris or something like that. So after that, we see Nick Aldis in the back with Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's Champion. They're both arguing in the back. Jade's arguing to Nick about how he wants a rematch. Nick kind of tells Jade, yeah, like, I understand you want a rematch. There's a lot of people that want a title match. Then Nia Jax comes in and interrupts Jade and told Jade basically to fall back in line. Like she said, you won Queen of the Ring, but you lost at WrestleMania. Nia told Tiffany, like, I'm going to end this fake title reign. So we've already seen Nia and Tiffany a couple times, and it looks like we're going to be seeing Nia and Tiffany again at some point. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I was thinking that Bianca was going to show up last week, and then I was thinking Bianca was going to show up this week, but she did not show up either time last week or this week. So are we going to see another Tiffany versus Nia? And then Tiffany against Jade again. I don't know what direction they're going. It's really hard to tell. With Bianca not being back, I thought she was medically cleared to come back, so it's very odd that she is not back yet. Yeah. So then we see the Miz and Carmelo, which Carmelo Hayes is actually a Boston native. Um, they're called Mellow Don't Miz. Um, so they're going to be going up against Fraxium tonight, which is one of my favorite tag teams. I was excited about them coming up from NXT. They're high flyers, they're fast, they're athletic, they just have it all. It's just a matter of time. But I say this all the time. There's so many great tag teams on SmackDown. Like maybe move a couple of those over to Raw because that Raw tag team division, like, I mean, when's the last time those titles was defended? Like, all we do is to see the Judgment Day, like, just flaunting them around. We need some more tag teams on Raw, and SmackDown is completely loaded with tag teams. So I think that Raw could use like at least two tag teams to come over there from SmackDown for sure. So yeah, so we get Mellow Don't Miz versus Praxium. For me, probably the best match like wrestling match of the night. Um, Before the commercial break, we see Praxium with the dive train. He's basically diving, like running like super fast from like rope to rope, hitting all these crazy moves. He hits the dive train, like he dives out on one side and he dives out on the other side. The announcer basically called him the dive train. What's crazy is like during this match, like you can see the White Six like in the crowd as well. So like I don't know what that was about, but yeah. I don't know. I think that there's so many teams, and now the MFT is that wanting to stake claim to get those tag titles, so it's going to be interesting for sure. Frazier ends up hitting a back spring Spanish fly on Carmelo for a 2 count. Axiom is in. Axiom hits the Spanish fly on Miz. I mean, he hits the Spanish fly on Carmelo. I'm sorry, Miz broke it up. And then we get a superplex from Carmelo Hayes. And then Miz. So at that point, Carmelo's in control, hits the superplex. And then we see the Miz tap Carmelo on the chest to tag himself in. And the Miz hits the skull crushing finale for the 1, 2, 3. Carmelo did not look happy about it, but then it seems like Miz has this manipulation over Carmelo. But yeah, we're gonna get another segment from them. But that's a big win. That's a really big win for Miz and Carmelo. It looks like they're starting to push Carmelo, which is great, and it looks like we're headed for the Miz and Carmelo. If they don't split them up, they could be headed for like a little tag run. Is what it looks like to me, which is great. So after the match, Joe Tessitore says that there is no medical update on Cody Rhodes. And once he said that, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. So it kind of throws me for a loop, like I said, because Cody and Roman are both leaving on September 2nd to go film Street Fighter. So once they announced that WWE was going to have a premium live event in September to try to combat AEW's PLE, that's going to be in the UK that weekend as well. Are they going to hold this off until just 1 second? I thought I saw some comments. Okay, are they going to hold this off until that I think it's going to be Bad Blood, and obviously we're going to see Brock Cena there. I think WWE is going to try to make huge matches for that PLE to try to combat AEW for sure. So, like I said, no medical update on Cody Rhodes. They show kind of a update on what happened last week with Drew McIntyre hitting the Claymore on Cody Rhodes up under the announce table and getting in his face and telling him like I'm taking your title. So yeah, no Cody Rhodes. No medical update on Cody Rhodes. Doesn't sound good. So Drew is scheduled to come out to the ring next to address what he did to Cody. And then next we see the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton in the back. And she's walking, and Kiana James comes up to Tiffany talking about needing backup. She said she saw the little segment with Jade and Naya, and she's like, we can get you your own little pink title belt. And so Kiana James is kind of this representative recruitment type person for Julia, the Women's United States champion. She tells Tiffany she needs backup. And what better backup could she have than her and the United States champion Julia? That was a very interesting segment. So Tiffany ended up declining Kiana. And after that, Kiana James told Tiffany that if you're not with us, you're against us. So not only did WWE plant seeds for a Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax rematch, maybe a Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill again, but now could we possibly see down the road Tiffany Stratton against Julia, which that would be something new for Tiffany. She needs something new. These same old opponents, like I said, they get stuck in this vortex, and we need fresh opponents instead of staying in these same feuds for long periods of time. So she told her, like I said, if you're not with us, you're against us. And after that, Mia Yim come up and she addressed Kiana James and said that she did not return any of her calls in regards to her wanting a United States Championship match against Julia. Kiana James said, I'm still deliberating on that, and I'll get back to you. And she walked out. So next we get Drew McIntyre out to talk about the attack. He says to the fans, they start saying, booing that Drew's got massive heel heat right now. He said, why did he Claymore Cody's head through the announce table? And then he tells the people in the back to play the clip again. Obviously, it shows the attack in which Drew calls it a crime scene. He said, play the clip again, and they did play it. At that point in time, the fans are chanting, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. That's kind of carried over since way back when Cody and Cena, before they fought the first time when they were overseas. So now the U.S. crowds are doing it for a lot of different WWE stars. Roman, Cody, like I see that they're doing it for a lot of different stars now. So the fans are chanting for Cody. Drew is on the mic. He asked Joe Tessitore. He said, "Where is Cody's medical update?" And Joe's like, "There is not. We don't have one." And Drew said, "It's awfully strange that there's not been a medical update after a week." He said, WWE management must be hiding it for their golden boy. Drew really knows how to cut those promos and to cut it deep. He said, you know, everybody says it's all Drew's fault, but ultimately he feels sorry for Cody. He said all Cody cares about is what the fans and management thinks about him, and Drew says he doesn't care about that. He was that person before, but after 5 years, he's become the person that he doesn't worry about that. He worries about what's best for Drew. And Drew said he wants that WWE title. He wants it for him and his family, and he wants that big paycheck. He said, "Who is Cody Rhodes without his story and without that title?" Basically, he's saying he's not anything without that story or that title. But then ultimately, Drew said, I mean, it was like watching somebody reenact a scene in a movie. So like Drew said, but ultimately Cody attacked him first, which I mean, Drew most 99% of the time is really telling the truth. Cody did attack Drew McIntyre first because he shows everybody like he threw him into the ring, like he brought him outside. He was supposed to like throw his head into the turnbuckle, and Drew obviously what he called reenacting the crime scene. Drew said that when when he's the most dangerous, you can call him the real nightmare. And when he's provoked, he is the real nightmare. So he basically laid the challenge on the line for Cody Rhodes. I'm gonna kind of stop there for a second. So after last week with the tag match, and they made John Cena and Logan Paul official, I felt like 100% that we were leaning towards Cena Logan, which was made official, and Cody Drew. I mean, there is still two SmackDowns before Clash of Paris, but with the no medical update terminology, I don't know, a little worrisome. I'm not 100% sure that this is actually even going to happen at Clash of Paris unless Cody shows up next week, which he was not advertised because they're saying there's no medical update on him. So I guess we'll see. I guess if we don't see Cody next week, then we're going to have to wait till at least September, if not that, October or November, or maybe even Survivor Series. I'm not sure. It looks like if they're not going to do it now, they're gonna do a very long build to this match. So we'll see. After that, we see Byron Saxton in the back with the Street Profits, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins, and also B5. So they're talking about, Byron Saxton saying like they got a big match tonight against DIY. That could put them in line for, to be first up for a tag title match against the White Six. And so at that point, the MFT, Solo Sikoa, Talatonga, Tongaloa, and JC Mateo interrupt and tell them that they don't need to worry about the tag titles, that the tag titles are going to have to go, they're going to have to go through them to be able to get that tag title match. So here we go again. I mean, I'm not sure where Tama Tonga is. I don't know his timetable on coming back, but could we see the MFT with the U.S. title and the tag titles at some point? The bloodline did carry when Roman was champ, we had Jay and Jimmy as tag champs. So you never know what could possibly happen with that. But yeah, so Solo tells them like they're gonna have to go through them. Street Profits said they're always up for the smoke. So we get next match we have up is DIY Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, obviously accompanied by Candice LeRae versus the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford with B-Fab. Before that, they did a little commercial showing that Naomi and Big Jimmy Uso was going to be on a podcast. I don't remember exactly what podcast it's going to be, but it's one of the ones that WWE's like sponsoring. So, and they also said that Naomi will be back on Raw Monday, from Philadelphia to address the women's world title situation. So, I speculated about it on X. I got a little backlash. I mean, I didn't say it was 100% accurate, but from the reports I got, reports I've seen, and the things I've read on the internet, like she didn't show up last week and now she's going to address the title. I'm just going to let her speak. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but it sounds very weird. It sounds very off. Could she actually be getting ready to have a baby? I guess that remains to be seen. If so, what happens to the WWE Women's Raw Heavyweight Championship? Um, because she was scheduled to face Stephanie Valcour at Clash at Paris. I mean, I guess they could have a tournament, or I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess it just depends on what Naomi has to say. She will be at Monday Night Raw Monday in Philadelphia, and all of the speculation will be put to rest Monday. So I'm not going to speculate about that anymore. So we get to the match, and they're talking like, and this is something that I talked about on the SummerSlam recap. That brutal fall from Kent, like she had that scar on her knee, like where she went from the ladder, like over the top rope, and then into that, like she fell over the top, like they pushed her over off the ladder, over the top rope, and into that table. Like it was a brutal fall. A lot of action. This was probably the best match for me. DIY and Street Profits both can really go. Um, just a lot of action. We even seen Candice LeRae hit a a little move on, I think it was Montez Ford, off the side of the rope, like a backflip thing where she flipped him off the side of the rope. Um, we saw everything in this match. Montez Ford is just crazy good off the top rope. And so is Dawkins. This was just a great match. We did see Candice LeRae take out B-Fab at one point in time, but then B-Fab ultimately got her revenge and took out Candice LeRae towards the end of the match. Yeah, so it was a great match. A lot of near falls, a lot of big moves hit by both teams, but ultimately Montez hits the frog splash from heaven and pins Tommaso Champion. With the Street Profits getting the win, which was a really good match. So Nick Aldis is in the back with the Motor City Machine Guns, and also we see Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Carmelo's asking Nick Aldis about a U.S. Championship match. The Miz is like trying to interrupt him, tells him like, "Hey, let's not focus on that right now." Like the manipulation thing, which was crazy. Mercy Machine Gun said that Miz was manipulating him, and Miz actually called them the Motor City Squirt Guns. The Miz just never ceases to amaze me. By calling them the Motor City Squirt Guns. So the Motor City Machine Guns called them a team that looked like they come from catering. I was like dying laughing. I was dead. That was freaking hilarious. Um, so at that point, Nick Aldis says, "You know what? I know what both of you guys want. Obviously, Carmelo's not getting his U.S. title match, but next week in Dublin, we are going to see the Mercy Machine Guns going up against Mello Don't Miz on SmackDown from Dublin, Ireland." So before we get to the 6-man tag match main event, they're showing the highlights last week from Cena's promo, and obviously Logan Paul coming out interrupting him. They're kind of recapping it. Logan Paul saying that, you know, a Logan Paul John Cena match is going to be box office. It's going to be headline, which I agree. Like I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup. I'm a little afraid Cena's probably going to put Logan Paul over here. He's already lost the title, but we'll see. I mean, he was very like high spoken about Logan Paul. And I think maybe for the rest of this retirement tour, you know, we may see John Cena do what I ultimately thought he was going to do when he came back, and that is to put over this younger talent that he's so like high on right now. Um, After that, we see Byron Saxton with R-Truth. R-Truth is jumping around like always, saying that he feels good, that his childhood hero, John Cena, is back. And then we see Aleister Black looking very rugged, which is Zelina Vega's husband if you've been living under a rock. Basically told R-Truth who needs friends with, I mean, who needs friends with people with enemies like, you know, like you, basically talking about Priest, and R-Truth. And then Aleister Black told R-Truth that he would see him next week, and that was made. I'll get to that later on. So let's see. Yeah, so that was kind of the end of that segment. So we get to we go backstage in the locker room before the main event. Sammy and Jimmy are like dapping it up, saying that Sammy telling Jimmy like he's super pumped to be teaming with him again. He can't wait, you know. And then like he goes to talk to Jacob and say like, "Are we good?" You know, like Jacob's like, "I only did this for my brother," you know, referring to Jimmy Uso. And then he tells Jimmy like, "Make sure you keep this guy away from me," which was, you know, I mean, it's kind of expected. I feel like just simply because, you know, Jacob and Sammy haven't really had the same type of chemistry or interactions that Sammy had when he was with Roman and Jimmy and Jay when he was the honorary Uso and part of the big, huge part of that bloodline story that went on for so long. So we get to Sammy, Jimmy, and Jacob. Like I said, Jacob told Jimmy to keep him away from that. So then we get a commercial about where SmackDown will be taking place next week, which will be Dublin, Ireland. So I'm taking it that SmackDown is going to be on early. So that means that my recap will be early next week. So I'm super excited about that. And then they announced some matches that are going to take place next week. Once again, hello to everybody watching from my Facebook and my YouTube channel and my X. Thank you for being here tonight. I know it's late, but somebody's got to do it. Got to do the recap. So next week from Dublin, Ireland, we're going to see R-Truth going one-on-one against Aleister Black. We're going to see John Cena. John Cena will be in Dublin, Ireland next week to probably for the last final build for his Logan Paul match at Clash of Paris. I would fully expect to see Logan Paul there as well. R-Truth versus Aleister Black. We're going to see the Motor City Machine Guns versus Mello Don't Miz. And that is the matches that are announced right now for next week's SmackDown. So we finally get to the main event of the evening, which is Jacob Fatu, Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn going up against Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, and JC Mateo. Tonga is actually not competing in this match. He is going to be outside of the ring on this match. So JC Mateo and Jimmy Uso start the match off. This match was wild. The referee, I feel like there was just so much going on in this matchup. If for me, it felt a little bit rushed. I wasn't a big, huge fan of like the entire match. The ending was fine, but like I said, with this 2-hour SmackDown, like it just the matches can't tell the stories. I feel like that they could when it was 3 hours, and we're not seeing people that we were seeing on these 3-hour shows, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah. So Solo starts off like he's getting really cocky with Sammy. Sammy finally gets the hot tag into Jacob. Jacob is just cleaning house on Tonga Loa. He has to run a hip attack on Tonga Loa. Jimmy jumps over the top rope, does a splash on JC Mateo. And then he also does the power bomb or pop up Samoan's power bomb on Tonga Loa as well. So Solo hits a splash, but Jacob kicks out. Sammy's back into the ring. He hits the Blue Thunder bomb on Solo. For the 1-2, we get JC Mateo interfering. Here we go. Referee's starting to lose control. Jacob flies over the rope to take out Hikuleo Talatonga onto the announce desk. Jacob is an absolute freak. He's an athlete. He can do it all. Like he's going to be world champion for a long, long time. So Solo Sikoa goes for the spike on Sami Zayn, and he ultimately misses the Samoan spike that he's helped Roman Reigns win a lot of matches with. He hit that move on Cody when Roman retained at WrestleMania 39, and he's actually beaten a lot of people with that move. Sammy hits the exploder, and then he hits the haluva kick in the corner and pins Solo Sikoa for a second straight week on SmackDown. So that's 2 wins for Sammy against Solo Sikoa. And earlier, Nick Aldis and Sami Zayn confirmed that Sami Zayn is officially now a member of the SmackDown roster. So lock it in, guys. We're going to get Sami Zayn going up against Solo Sikoa for that United States title. And if the Cody Drew match is not happening, then I could possibly see this match happening maybe at Clash at Paris for the United States title. Basically, Jacob, Jimmy, and Sammy win. They clean house from Solo and them, like knock them out of the ring. And then as the broadcast is going off the air, we finally, Jacob extends his hand to Sami Zayn, and we get a handshake and a hug between Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn, showing like mutual respect and all of that, which is good to see because I think they're all three going to need each other. This is going to be a war. And I think ultimately it's going to end up culminating with something at War Games. So yeah, that's basically SmackDown for me. I'm probably gonna give it about a 6 or 7. Like I said, Cena will be in Dublin, Ireland. Speculation is running rampant about Naomi. She will address all those rumors on Raw Monday. The Mercy Machine Guns are going to take on Mello Don't Miz next week, and then R-Truth against Aleister Black. And John Cena will be there. I'm sure Logan Paul will be there, but I just don't know if Cody will be there. I'm kind of mind blown by this. I really thought we were gonna get Cody and Drew and Paris, but right now it's just not really looking that way unless they're just trying to swerve again. And Cody does show up in Dublin next week and accepts the challenge, and then we have 2 weeks, or basically, I mean, the story started last week, but if Cody accepts next week, then we have another week of SmackDown, and then we have the PLE. But I think that's kind of rushing it a little bit too soon. Um, like I said, I mean, SmackDown and NXT are very similar. Like they're 2 hours, so like it feels like everything's kind of getting crammed in. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of SmackDown tonight. I Ever since SummerSlam, I think that WWE feels like they're just kind of creatively bankrupt. They put all their eggs in a basket with Cody winning, Seth cashing in, Brock coming back, and everybody's just kind of been like anticipating huge things after that, but we've really gotten nothing at all. I mean, yeah, we're getting Cena and Logan, Cody and Drew at some point, but nothing with Brock. Obviously, Seth does have a big match at Clash of Paris. I'm glad about that. But ultimately, I feel like WWE is on cruise control ever since SummerSlam. Like they're more focused on like the ESPN deals. Obviously, UFC now has signed on with Paramount Plus. They will for UFC for the first time in like years are not going to be doing pay-per-views anymore. Which, if you're a big UFC fan, I don't really watch it that much. But if you are, they're not going to be doing pay-per-views anymore. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. So TKO, if you're on the TKO board, I'm sure they are like they go to bed happy every night. They are just raking in the dough. Just crazy, 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 crazy. I mean, I think they got like $10 million or something from Paramount Plus. I'm not sure the exact amount. But for me, like I says, I would give SmackDown maybe a 7, something like that. Um, it just with it being 2 hours, like they gotta cram everything. The matches just aren't as long, I don't really feel like. And then ultimately, like they can't tell the full story. Like even the main event felt a little bit rushed to me. But I mean, it was an okay show. Looking forward to Clash in Paris. Obviously, they did advertise the AAA Mania or whatever it's called. That's going to be tomorrow night on YouTube. I personally probably will watch it. I'm not super. I'm watching it to see Lola Vice from NXT and seeing if my boy Dirty Dom can become that the Dirty Dom 2 belts. Um, he's the odds-on favorite, him or El Grande Americano to win. I'm hoping Dirty Dom comes with got the IC title and then the AAA World title as well. Dirty Dom deserves it. I love Dirty Dom, so go Dirty Dom tomorrow if you're watching the AAA. Uh, it's gonna be a great matches, so I'll definitely be tuned in. I will not be doing a show on the AAA pay per view. Unfortunately, I do a lot of shows, so I will be off tomorrow. I will be just enjoying myself and watching that show, honestly. But I'm gonna give SmackDown a 7, 6 or 7. It just feels rushed. It feels like Like I said earlier, it feels like WWE creatively bankrupt right now. They put the title back on Cody. They had Seth, fake an injury and cash in on Punk, and then they had Brock show up, and then after that, like, what have we got? Um, so far, the only thing that's really official for Clash of Paris is Seth Rollins defending the Raw Championship against Jey Uso, LA Knight, and CM Punk. And then we have from SmackDown Logan Paul against John Cena. Hoping that card starts to shape up. Was thinking Cody Drew, but not thinking that so much now. But we'll see. There's still time. So don't want to like completely rule it out because WWE they love to throw swerves. Hello to everybody that joined right here at the end. I'm not. Let me go to the super thing. Okay. Um, we are live on my Facebook and my YouTube and my X. Thank you guys for tuning in. So I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to play my outro for you guys and my thank you message, and I will be back to tell you what I have coming up.
CJP's your guide, let's start the show. Tag teams picking, factions shaking. He's got the scoop on moves they're faking. Belt on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. Let's go, let's go. Where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, the EVP show is out of control.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed the EVP tonight on the EVP show for your SmackDown recap. Obviously, if you missed the beginning of it, it will be on my YouTube page if you want to go back and watch it. It's also on my X. So if you want to tune in, like, you can also watch the live stream on my X. And if we're friends on Facebook, then you can watch it on my Facebook as well. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. So just going to give you a quick rundown of what the EVP has got in store for you guys in the future. Obviously, today was a pretty rough day for the EVP. Yesterday as well. Don't really know. I'm not gonna speculate on air or anything like that. Anything that's going on with my personally. But all I can say is I had a pretty rough day yesterday as well. So I do want to thank you guys that did show up. I see close to 40, almost 50 people. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So for me next, obviously you guys enjoy the AAA PLE tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy my second SmackDown recap. So next up for the EVP, Sunday night at 11. I know it's late, guys, and I do apologize, but blame that on the network in it. They used to do LFG at like 8 p.m., but they're just I don't know what's going on with them with this 10 o'clock p.m. start time on A&E. It's wild. But the EVP will be back on the EVP show Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the LFG recap. It will be episode 8. I love LFG and I love talking about it. I really wish I had a YouTube channel last season. I know I'm a little late into the season, but we're gonna cover it all the way to the end of season 2 until we get a winner on the men's and the women's side and see who gets that NXT contract. Next up after that, you will see me back on Monday at 11 p.m. Eastern. I will be back here live again for the WWE Raw recap. Roman Reigns is advertised. It will be in Philly where he lost where his 1,316-day reign ended to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. How will Roman Reigns feel walking back into that building? We will see. I don't know. I don't know if it's at the same place or not. I think it's a Wells Fargo Center, maybe. But still, he's back in Philly. He's advertised. He will be on the card, or he will be on the show, and he will be on the following Raw as well, leading up to Clash of Paris. You can mark it down, bookmark it, bookmark me here, clip it. Roman Reigns is going to be facing Bronson Reed at Clash of Paris. So we're going to be able to add that to the card. Bronson's been throwing the ones up. Stole 2 pairs of his shoes. The Sheila follows going on. It's trending nationwide. I think honestly, I think I was one of the first people to say it, but hey, like I guess I should have put it all over X so I could be trending everywhere. But yeah, I'll be back, like I said, Monday night for the 11 p.m. Eastern for the WWE Raw recap, and then I'm back Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap, and it's also going to happen in Philly. Huge card. We're gonna have Trick Williams going up against Javon Evans to see who will face Obafemi at NXT Heatwave. We're going to see Ricky Saints against Jasper Troy, the season 1 LFG winner. We're going to see a face-off with Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace face-to-face in the ring. And then we're going to see Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura in a Philadelphia street fight. And then I will be back Wednesday, I believe, on the EVP Zero show. We will be doing NXT Heatwave predictions. Don't know a time, so can't give it to you. So you just have to look on my X or on my YouTube. It will be scheduled on there as live. I don't have the time. I do believe it may be 3 p.m. Eastern Wednesday. Last I was told. That will be our NXT Heatwave predictions. And yeah, and then I'll be back Friday for the SmackDown recap. And then I will not be doing a LFG show next Sunday. What I plan to do is I'm going to do an NXT Heatwave recap along with an LFG. I'm gonna kind of combine them on Sunday with the LFG recap and the NXT Heatwave recap once the NXT Heatwave PLE ends, which it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, so it's probably going to be pretty late. But yeah, obviously, thank you to everybody that showed up, and you can find me on my socials here at the bottom of the screen on X at EVPCJP, on Instagram at EVPCJP again, and then hit that like and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys can hit those likes on my YouTube video tonight. It helps me in the algorithm and get those comments in, gets the algorithm going, gets my streams going, and that algorithm that would be really appreciative. Thank you to everybody that reposted and retweeted my show tonight. But you can find me on my YouTube channel at the EVP Show in all capitals. That is it for the EVP tonight. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the WWE SmackDown recap, and I will see you guys Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the WWE LFG recap, Season 2, Episode 8. With that being said, love somebody today, and the EVP is out. That's all we have tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed the SmackDown recap. I am the EVP CJP on the EVP show. Good night, everyone.